Okay, so let me extend you all a very warm welcome today for the inaugural K2 User Group meeting in Queensland. In fact, Rudy, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the first one in Australia, is it not?
That's correct.
So Queensland leading the pack again. Remember that next week because we've got the rugby on again. So why are we doing this? Why are we creating a user forum in Queensland? From my perspective, what we're seeing is a growing K2 marketplace. We've got increasing product capability from K2, as a lot of you will be used to and experiencing day to day, with some increasing demands on knowledge and so forth. And what's really obvious to me is that customers are now starting to use K2 for bigger and more important process tasks. So the customers are starting to form a much bigger reliance on the product and also the skills and abilities of the team assembled largely in this room today. It gives me very great pleasure to invite Pete Heydon up here. Pete, this is now come join me. Sorry, hand over to you to talk to us about customer perspectives for getting started around K2. Thank you, Pete.
Good evening, everyone, to the first K2 user group. It's pretty exciting to have an event like this now in town. I guess what's important and what my role is really helping customers start off with K2 on their journey. So I want to talk about some customer perspectives that I've experienced in my role. So I need to work with customers at the initial stages of, we've got some needs for workflow, or we want to automate some of our processes and systems, and get positioned for building out some of those business processes or business applications. So I'm very heavily involved at the pointy end of it all, and usually at some stage when we've talked about, say, K2, position K2, and the customers got that in place, it's then around what do we do? How do we move forward to start on that journey to build out our first business processes? So I'm going to tell you some of those perspectives that I've had with their customer base and what they've done since starting with K2. Now, getting K2 is a bit like Christmas. Everything's really shiny and new, but how do you get started opening up your presents, start working on your processes? Do you strategically take one present first, untying the ribbon, undo the wrapping paper, undo the packaging to get the toy inside, or you just rip into all of them all at once? Is it what you expected, what you wanted to get? Does it require a reading manual or supply batteries to make the system work? Will it benefit just you, the individual, or a group of people that you maybe can share and use that thing you found in the tree? Now, we have a mix of customers who have varying levels of pain and process they want to try and achieve. And how do they go about doing it in a way that makes sense? They're not inundated with a lot of processes to try and automate and manage and have a path to go ahead. So how do we see these organisations get started? The first thing to understand is the customers that challenges face, and as a supplier as I am, how do we face about helping our customers get started? One of the first challenges we see, I've got 4 of these to share with you today, is the challenge where customers use a technology-first approach. So where they try and use the IT department as the first part of trying to get processes, automation achieved inside an organisation. There are some customers who do this, then some customers who are more on the business end. The second challenge we see is when there's no clear business objective with customers. So they may have platitudes as business requirements. We want to go paperless. I'm sure you've heard a lot of that. We want to automate our business processes. What does that mean? Sometimes it's just a dream because they've got no idea what benefits they're going to get to, how they're going to achieve and measure and manage that as well. The third challenge I see with some of our customers when customers see when they're starting is around the ownership of business processes. So who actually owns a business process? The manager of a department, say for finance, might have a view on how a particular process is run. The members of that team may have a different view to what their manager has. We're finding even the peers of those people inside the team have a different way of doing a process as it stands now. So there's no standardised way of executing a particular business process. Manually now, how do you then start doing that with a system that's going to very, very deliberately direct you through a standardised way, repeatedly getting an outcome and following the process. So people aren't working on the same page is a common theme. And not having stakeholder management is part of that challenge. And the fourth challenge I'd like to share with you today is around not engaging business process analysts inside your organisation when you start to do some of these things. So we're finding that when we have the right type of business analysts, the ones that are used to doing business process execution, those understand workflow, or the business improvement specialists, where they're very focused on being able to take a set of requirements with an organisation and help systemise and organise that in some way that makes sense, that you can automate it, have an outcome. Then I guess trying to sort of look at something where might be as their level of knowledge and experience may not be quite as wide to help you move forward. And so this is having those experts available to you, and maybe they might be right inside your own organisation, certainly helps alleviate some of those challenges. So what are we trying to achieve out of putting K2 into our environment? So as a customer, we always want to, and customer Mike spoke about this before, about achieving success out of using a product like K2. But what is success? It's executing that sort of initial thought and dreams and business objectives that position K2 in the first place. So you may be starting out on your journey right now, and you may already be in the middle of your journey. And maybe you're already seeing some of these challenges, and maybe you're not. But the goal of success is to really get that level of automation to a point where you're seeing the business benefits and reaping the results of the investment in time and effort into a product like K2 to help the organisation to really document your process, systemise your process, automate your process. What things do we think we need to do to achieve that success? So we talked about the challenges I talked about. I was thinking about how do we do I think what's the underlying theme or problem around this. I went back to a diagram that some of you may be familiar with this diagram here, which is a systems development life cycle. This is a 10-stage process that takes you from initiation all the way through to operations disposal of a system. And for some customers, where there is a little maturity, this makes perfect sense and they understand this type of flow. But the problem is for the customers that may be, let's say, less mature, or when you're starting to talk to the business stakeholders, the business departments, the business users, this is probably a foreign concept to them. So how do we communicate and articulate about some of those key areas, like the ones here, particularly around planning and requirements analysis, which I think is probably the key areas we're seeing all these challenges come into. There's a tendency for people to want to go from initiation straight into development and skipping some of these steps in between. So all the work that I do with our customers is helping them dial it back a bit and just go through the right stages to get them started in the right direction to allow them to then repeat this cycle many times as they go through developing out their processes. Because once doing that really is crucial, underpins how you want to move forward. So I've talked a little bit about the sort of challenges of our customers. I see our customers when they started using K2. But I want to talk about maybe some takeaways that you can take away from this afternoon that might help you use some strategies how to deal with this. So it's Christmas morning, you've got K2, and how do we then actually go around picking out those first presents to open? Again, you may already have K2, you may have already started this journey, but then you may not have, maybe you're more experienced in this journey, maybe there's something of value here, maybe, hopefully there will be. So I'll take you through 3 of these today. The first one is around identifying and getting buy-in from process stakeholders. So these people that you engage with in your business may not have actually been actively involved in the process you went to position and put in K2. So you might find you worked with, say, a HR department. When you go to finance, they might be as aware of the rationale behind putting a process a system like K2, benefits will bring, terminology used to talk about it. So it's getting the right people involved, and it's not necessarily going to IT to get this done either. It is about going out to those process owners inside the business. And not only just the managers I talked about before, but also talking about to the people inside those departments who actually execute their processes right now, every day. And it's important to talk about their problems they're facing and what sort of low-hanging fruit you can pick out of that. So the second strategy I want to give you is around getting the measurements in place. It's around understanding what benefits you want to get, what outcomes you want to achieve out of putting in a business process, or automating business process using K2. So maybe you might have some SLAs you're trying to achieve, maybe some KPIs. They might be on some strategic goals and helping you reduce costs, save time, or improve customer service inside your organisation, or maybe to people outside your organisation. And for showing that Andrew's going to talk about in a couple of presentations later, he's going to go into more depth around actually how you actually do some of that. But it's important to understand where you're trying to go, what benefits you need to achieve, and how you baseline so you can measure where you've come from, to where you are, and where you want to go to in the future. The third strategy I want to give you today is around focus. So I've heard focus is an acronym for follow one course until success. So it's about, if you're starting off, particularly those who are starting off and new with K2, it's about picking that first process underneath the tree, the first process you want to execute, and working on that. So maybe you look down the tree and you see this nice round object, maybe it's a soccer ball. It's easy to understand, easy to use, everyone can start playing with it. Maybe that's the first thing you want to tackle. Not the 1,000-piece Meccano set. It's going to take you hours and have a million permutations to assemble. So it's finding ways of being able to find winnable processes that will help you get started, get some runs on the board. It doesn't require cross-line of business integration, so it can be used within the department, and also may not involve initially integration with other systems inside your business, so you can access payroll and ERP systems. So finding things that are isolated, easy to use, give some benefits, and work your way up and build that level of confidence as you start going about bringing K2 automated business processes. So ultimately, we want to achieve success with K2. We all do. I really hope this is useful. And thank you for the opportunity to share some perspectives. My contact details are there, and I look forward to catching up a bit later when we finish the presentations.
So thank you very much for that presentation. That was certainly valuable to me, and I hope it was to others in the room as well.